This is going to be the first chapter of the second course. This one's a neat chapter. I think everybody's a little interested in this one. It's obstetrics and neonatology. And of course, this is going to be the study of obstetrics, which is the time during pregnancy, and neonatology, which is the time right after birth. So let's get started on what we're going to cover this time. Obstetrics, I just said, has to do with childbirth and the care of the mother. Neonatology is the medicine that deals with treatment of disorders of the newborn. So that's going to be immediately after birth in relation to a pediatrician who then is going to take over as the baby matures. Okay, our terms related to pregnancy this time: gamete, ovulation, conception, zygote, embryo. These are all terms that I want to show you about on this slide. Notice right here, we're going to discuss the whole part of how the pregnancy occurs. So if you notice, we've already learned about the ovary and the ovum and all of the parts of the actual female reproductive system. So this is more how it works in terms of fertilization and conception. So, an ovule is produced in the ovary. When it's mature, it's going to be released by a sac in the ovary, and that's during ovulation. And these tiny hairs called the fimbriae of the fallopian tube actually sort of grab that little egg, that little microscopic egg, and it starts to travel down the fallopian tube to make its way down to the uterus. So if you notice right here, fertilization occurs at this point right here. And once that moment that fertilization occurs, the cell begins to start to divide. At this point where it's just an egg, it has 23 chromosomes, and then the sperm has 23. So at that moment of fertilization, this cell now becomes a 46 chromosome cell, which is then going to develop into a human being. So as you can see right here, as the fertilized egg travels down the fallopian tube, it's already starting to multiply. You can see the cells are starting to multiply and divide, which means it's life is forming already. So it's going to travel down the fallopian tubes, and then it's going to implant somewhere along the wall of the uterus. Implantation is necessary for pregnancy to continue. If you have a fertilized egg and something goes wrong inside the uterus, it will just be considered a miscarriage, and it won't be a viable pregnancy. We also have times where fertilization will occur in the fallopian tube, and the fertilized egg actually embeds and implants in the actual fallopian tube. At that point, it can be very deadly to the mother because it will get too large for this tube, and the tube does not expand like the uterus does. So the tube is going to get too large, and it can actually cause a real big health problem for the mother. So as you can see right here, implantation occurs, and then the rest of the pregnancy is going to follow. Here is the development of the fetus in the uterus itself. The fetus, the placenta, we're going to talk about the placenta, is vital in getting all the nutrients to the developing fetus. And of course, those nutrients go from the placenta to the umbilical cord. Since this is a shared blood system, a lot of things that the mother ingests during pregnancy can travel across the placental wall and into the baby's bloodstream. That's why it's really important before any pregnant woman take any medication or anything like that she consult with her doctor, because of course you don't want anything to cross over that membrane. All right, here is a human male fetus at 46 days, and you can tell it's a male fetus right down here. So this is the actual umbilical cord. So as you can see, it's quite developed already. We're going to go through the combining forms really quickly that are covered on this test. And that's all for this quiz. So know the ones that I told you on in the exercise. Know everything on slides 4 to 14, including the picture for the quiz. I'll see you next time for the rest of the lesson.